Such a big story, big case here for Southern California. Joining us now with legal input on this case is Dmitry Gorin. So we just heard from a juror, an alternate juror. We know the juror's decision on this. What do you make of it?
It seems like the government just didn't prove its case. 10 jurors voted not guilty. 10 jurors felt there was insufficient evidence. So despite the government putting on 30 witnesses, spending weeks in court, taking the jurors' time, the judge's time, the jurors said there wasn't enough. So I just don't understand why the U.S. Attorney's Office is choosing to retry Mr. Rinderknecht.
Well, we know it's a very, very big emotional issue for so many people who suffered loss, all the loss of homes there, people displaced. With this retrial, how do you go about that?
Well, I think the prosecutor's office is going to have a tough time without finding new evidence. Nobody observed Mr. Rinderknecht actually set the fire. There's no DNA evidence. The crime scene where this fire smoldered for a week was not secured. There were other kids observed in the area, and there were fireworks in the area after allegedly Mr. Rinderknecht set the fire. All of that raises reasonable doubt. And I do not know how the government moves forward without presenting new evidence, something to show the defendant actually set the fire. And yes, we want justice. We want justice for the victims, but there's also justice in prosecuting the right person, in making sure the right person goes to jail. And it seems like the jurors resoundingly said here, there's just not enough based on the evidence we heard in court.
So the federal government obviously felt that they did have a case and they did present this before jurors. Is there any chance of a plea agreement?
I think that's a great question. If I'm the defense lawyer, and I've done a lot of high-profile work, one of the first steps is to speak to your client, see if there's a desire to want to resolve. Perhaps the government would be open to letting your client out, giving him a time-served deal on a reduced offense, reach a plea agreement. That gives the government a conviction on something, and at the same time gets the client out of custody. Right now, he's just sitting what we call dead time. He's sitting in custody. He's been there for 8 months. He's got to wait another 4 months to try to exonerate himself. I would try to work on a plea deal and try to get my client out of custody.
You seem to have a bit of knowledge about the case itself. Can you point to any areas where you see that the federal prosecutors did have a possible case and direction to go on this?
I would determine whether or not they can find witnesses that actually saw the defendant at the scene around the time of the blaze. They can't put him there. It's all circumstantial. It's not direct evidence. There's no confession. There's no direct witness. There were other people at scene. There were fireworks there. So unless they can actually put that lighter in his hand, if they can find some DNA, if they can find other evidence, it seems like they're going to be at the same place 4 months from now. So why keep the defendant in custody for all that time?
And would you be concerned about the pool of jurors? There's a lot of knowledge about this story.
Sure. So when you do jury selection, I've defended and prosecuted about 100 jury trials. You would preview the jury with all those questions. Can you keep an open mind? Can you put aside what you previously heard and just listen to the evidence in court? So you can deal with that. But the reality is people do remember, people will remember this was a hung jury, and I don't think that makes it any easier for the U.S. Attorney's Office to prove this case. So I know they stated today in a tweet, hey, we're going to re-prosecute the defendant, but it would look horrible to re-prosecute him, keep him in custody for 2 months, and then he's going to get exonerated. Okay. I would try to get a plea agreement.
Dmitry Gorin, thank you so much.
Of course,
appreciate
anytime.
Your time.
Sure.
All right.